An even more startling death than John Dutton's, Kevin Costner, occurs in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 11, Paramount Network's new Western smash, with Taylor Sheridan purportedly as its final episodes in December. So far, the events following John's death have occupied Yellowstone's attention in Season 5, Part 2, despite whispers to the contrary. As the remaining members of the Dutton family cope with the tragedy and its aftermath, the arc has been defined by loss. All You Need Is Desire, the 9th episode of Yellowstone's 5th season, and The Apocalypse of Change, the 10th episode, include Sheridan shifting the action between two time periods. The excursions begin with memories from before John's death and focus on events following his passing. This is still true in Episode 11, but other characters, especially those associated with Jamie, take center stage rather than Beth and Casey's story. More consequential than the loss of the Dutton patriarch is the episode's climactic Sarah death. Who killed her? Some ancillary characters get some screen time as Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 moves the storyline beyond John's close family. After their patriarch is no longer involved in state politics, the show effectively establishes how the Dutton family's following generation handles the ranch's challenges. Despite expectations that John's death would propel Jamie to greater prominence, he finds out that his father was murdered instead of taking his own life, which puts him under immense pressure and threatens his position as Attorney General. Without realizing that Sarah, his accomplice and crime mastermind, is also under scrutiny from the police department for their role in John's death, he feels compelled to confront her about the matter. The dispute between the two escalates into a physical altercation. At the end, Sarah storms out of the house, but Jamie calls her back, and they end up making up. A hit on Sarah has already been ordered, but unfortunately, none of them knows this. She is on the phone with Jamie when she is shot multiple times at point-blank range. Sarah's death is unexpected. Even though it hasn't been officially announced, Jamie's not going to make it to the next level of Yellowstone, whatever that may be. Sarah's murder occurs when he is speaking with her on the phone. The fact that his demise will be anything but tranquil is probably going to hit him soon, if it hasn't already. Only time will tell if this insight makes him even more inflexible, or if he seeks redemption to avoid additional embarrassment. Additionally, the night of John's death is revisited in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 11, especially with Casey being entangled in the investigation. It appears like the entire expedition will be focused on the Duttons discovering the truth behind their father's tragic death. Given that Episode 11 concludes with Sarah's murder, the narrative turns to center on Jamie's reaction to the tragedy. This is all the more unexpected. Although she isn't the protagonist like John was, Costner's expected departure from Yellowstone implied that he would die at the same time. Sarah's demise, however, comes as a complete shock, eliminating Sarah, who is also shaping up to be Yellowstone Season 5's villain. This alters the course of events in the show's last episodes. Everyone from Beth to Casey has been hatching a plot to get even with the people responsible for John's death. Now that Sarah is no longer there, Jamie will be held primarily responsible. Of course, the hunt for her killer also begins, so a new mystery is born. It does not appear that Beth is responsible for the hit on Jamie's girlfriend, despite her stated desire to eliminate her. Sarah's death changes Jamie's enemies. If the bond between Jamie and Sarah is love at first sight, Yellowstone hasn't quite said so. The two have gained something from their brief romance. Jamie found friendship and an ally in Sarah after the Dutton family rejected him. The association with the Montana Attorney General, meanwhile, advanced Sarah's career. Despite how complicated and misunderstood their relationship was, there is a touch of affection in their last discussion. Jamie will be devastated by Sarah's death, even more so than by John's death. Despite his intense desire to gain his father's favor, he was never truly close to him. But things were different when it came to Sarah. He may find the strength to persevere now that he is fully on his own. Jamie, driven by his anger and grief, would most likely accuse Beth of Sarah's murder, heightening the intensity of their all-out conflict and adding excitement to the conclusion of Yellowstone.